And we are live. What is up, everybody? Aaron the Dog back for the first breakdown of the week, the UFC 5 o'clock show with just my 2 cents in the chat. Already is Lou Betcho here for only here, spelled wrong, for the offbeat shenanigans and tomfoolery. Oh, then he corrected it. And the legend himself, Zhang Li. Good to see you, my friend. We will put together the Zhang Li parlay as always, and glad you could be here, man. Speaking of people, I'm glad that could be here. Great people in the chat. My co-host, just my 2 cents. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, my friend. Thank you as always for having me. Pretty decent card. Super pumped for a couple of these fights. Yeah, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know. Is it 15 fights or something? How many fights are on this card?
12 it looks like.
12. As always, I never know the amount of fights. It's amazing. Usually I say 14, but for some reason I thought it was more than 12. But we're going to start with a fight that, I'll be honest with you, like, I hate to do it, but a lot of times, what up, C. Miller? What's going on? And then Diana Belbita, guilty. She'll probably fight one of these fighters eventually. Miranda Maverick taking on Priscilla Cachoeira. This is just a fight that I don't have a whole lot of interest in. Miranda Maverick is pretty non-lethal. She's like just kind of like she looks like she should be like a really powerful grappler, be able to kind of smother you and, maybe have some decent striking as well. But honestly, like, it's like she just kind of leaves a little bit to be desired. I've never really seen her as this contender everybody else seems to call her. When she goes up against good levels of competition, she never looks that great and kind of blows it. And I don't really care about the Macy Barber fight. It's helped us with Macy Barber lines, let's be honest. And then Priscilla Cachoeira, she's probably not going to make weight. It doesn't really matter when she misses weight. She still loses, still gets dominated by grapplers, still doesn't really know how to get up, and just gets submitted, gives up eventually. Miranda Maverick, it's just a question of if Miranda Maverick's going to finish or not for me. It's not really a question I feel like betting. So you're 10th on my YouTube list things up top. Sweet. Glad to see it, man. That's all Jack attack. But yeah, I mean, it's either Priscilla Cachoeira by KO or Miranda Maverick by, I would think, submission or decision. I'm going to say she gets the submission. I just don't think Priscilla Cachoeira knows how to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I have absolutely no interest in this fight. It's Miranda Maverick to me is a busted prospect. I don't think she's like an atrocious fighter per se, but it's like Cachoeira pass, and I'm definitely passing. Like, I see this just being like a Miranda Maverick, like fence pushing extravaganza, struggling to get takedowns, but just control time against the fence and then winning a disgusting split, maybe a unanimous. But yeah, Maverick is the pick.
It's not a parlay piece for either one of us.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I'm just trying to load up the book right now, but last I saw was like approaching like minus 320 or something.
Yeah, it's getting disgusting, man. Like, she's over. Bet365 has her minus 133, minus 350 on Betway. That's insane, man.
Yeah, no, it's all around not one that I'm glad that we kind of agree on that. I think some people kind of will look to start their night. Like, I've been doing the chalky 2-piece to start off the night a lot lately. I really have, and I can't do it this week, honestly.
Dude, that's a lot to sweat right off the bat. Jesus.
But it's been nice. It's been hidden. These chalky 2-pieces to start out when it's minus like 150 each guy or minus 110 on one, minus 150. I'm just saying, like, right. But on this card, definitely not worth it here, in my opinion, just because I think Maverick could get knocked out in round 3 if it's still in a spot where Cachoeira is able to start landing. I mean, we saw, like, I get it. She's a little bit better than Gina Mazzani. But how much, like, I don't know. Like, Gia Mazzani was getting the grappling success early. Then as soon as Cachoeira could land on the feet, she did. But also, I just don't have any interest in it. Matt Semmelsberger versus Euros Medic. This fight, I don't really know what to think of this one either. These are two really big guys, so it's two like oversized lightweights. Sorry, oversized lightweight in Euros Medic's case, and then still big. I think he'll still be pretty big at welterweight. I don't like that he's taking on short notice. I don't like that the majority of his fights were in Alaska, and since his debut against Elon Cruz, obviously he didn't miss a shot in that fight. But since then, I don't really know what to really think of Euros. He's been off for a while. He's been injured. I think he's the more diverse striker. He's a more entertaining striker, but I think Semmelsberger is the one who has more power, more size. I think just kind of width and like strength, I should say. I guess I think that Euros Medic could be really, really quick though. I'm kind of interested to see him here, but at this point, I guess I'm on Semmelsberger, but I'm just not on him like everybody who's just pairing him up, parlaying him through the card, guaranteeing this win. Because honestly, when he's gone against the quicker, strikers, even like Alex Morano looked so fast compared to Semmelsberger. And also, did I mention he played football? Strong safety, I believe. So either way, like I guess I've got Semmelsberger. I guess I have by KO. I'm not looking to bet it too much. Maybe one or two parlays because I'm sick. But honestly, like I'm not too confident in Semmelsberger. What's your thoughts on this one?
Dude, I am just like, I have been a Semmelsberger. I don't know if detractor is the right word. I just have never been really high on the guy. I'm always just kind of, just when it seems like, okay, maybe we have something here, he'll just take a setback. Like Williams and Morono and Wells, like they aren't terrible fighters. So it's not like I think Medic is like so much better than them. But I'm going to take like, not like I took a huge shot on it. I threw Medic in like a very like small long shot parlay. But I'm going to pick Medic here. I think he's going to knock Semmelsberger out. You mentioned the speed. I completely agree with that. Semmelsberger is probably the more well-rounded fighter. Love that you mentioned that he played football. That has to be thrown out there, or we're not it's not a Matthew Semmelsberger fight week if we don't mention that he played fucking football for some reason, but it just is. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Medic. It's not something I feel incredibly confident about. Like I could see Semmelsberger. He is pretty tough and like he'll mix it up. Medic has decent takedown defense. It's not incredible, but like he like people are bringing up Semmelsberger getting all these knockdowns. Medic has knocked down everyone other than Jalen Turner, who I rate a little bit higher than Semmelsberger. So I'm gonna take Medic, but yeah, I'm not laying anything heavy on it.
Ooh, Semmelsberger versus Turner at 170. Would watch. First of all, I'm anti-Turner at 155. Especially after last time. Go fight up. But either way. What'd you say? You're breaking up a little bit.
Sorry, I was saying what up to the Jewish better.
Oh yeah, what up, JB? And then General Alex in the building as well. We got the who's who in here, and then of course Justin. I don't think Justin's ever missed a breakdown. I gotta give him credit of anybody though. I'm not just talking about myself. So,
dude, he's the Iron Man like chat
dude's incredible. He must have so much money from all the advice he soaks in because we're all special, as we know. That's why I charge for all of this. Thank you. By the way, Miranda Maverick under 300 now, minus 300, minus 295, and we got Semmelsberger over 200 now, minus 205. If you want to parlay that, Godspeed. I'm not doing it, and I just don't really look to bet it straight. I don't mind the shot on Euros here. It's on short notice, but he's fought at middleweight. He's fought at welterweight, and I think, honestly, at 30 years old, that 155 cut was probably brutal for him, and I don't think this is a bad shot at all. I do think the speed could be a major issue in this one. So, good shot there. I think it's going to be a good fight, but no chalky parlay for me to start out the night, even though I do have the two chalk plays or chalk sides, I guess you could say. I'm not betting either one. This fight right here, I'm always honest about fighters who I have a bias about, right? Any Jillian Roberts fight, like I make the preamble before. Any Fernando Padilla fight, I'm gonna, make the preamble before. And a few other fighters. Vinicius Salvador, let me make this preamble before. I'm not picking him against anybody but Shannon Ross, who ironically I picked Shannon Ross on the Contender Series when they fought. Even that's untrue. But Vinicius Salvador, I know he's a fun striker. I do think that is the best chances for him to kind of spark CJ Vergara, who's kind of inactive with his striking. He really is. And honestly, the fight that he had against Ode Osborne, I've gone back and watched that fight, and I saw it live. I thought he was way worse live than when I rewatched it. And I just think that Vergara is just I've said this so many times, and it's so obvious, the much better MMA fighter here. Simmonsberger's a Jew. My bad. I guess I'm picking the Jew here. No. But yeah, clear that up for us. But either way, I think CJ Vergara at some point sparks Vinicius. And I don't know if it's going to be round 1, round 2, or round 3. And that's a lot of hope as well. I don't want to see a greasy decision because I could see this being a split type of for Vinicius. Like I do think that he has decent finishing ability with his striking, but I think CJ Vergara's been in there with some good guys both regionally and in the UFC. For the most part, he's kind of been his worst enemy with his lack of kind of volume and activity at times, but I just think this is a spot where he can wrestle at times, kind of win minutes, and I think Vinicius is going to have to be KO or bust as this goes. So I got CJ Vergara. I got him with a KO at some point too, just because I just hope that happens. But I do like CJ Vergara, and maybe I'll do a late chalky parlay. So CJ Vergara probably going to be involved in a play or two for me, just out of my hate of Vinicius.
Yeah, I'm on the same side. I don't feel like incredibly confident about CJ necessarily. I do think in the future, anytime there's kind of a step up in competition, I'm probably going to look to fade him. But I don't think that Ode and
it's 32, so that's probably a good call moving forward.
Yeah, and I can't. People are definitely overrating the win over Shannon Ross. We talked about Shannon Ross ad nauseum. Y'all already know what the deal is with Shannon Ross on Aaron's channel. I do think that Vinicius is live for a KO. So it's not like I'm like, what the fuck are y'all thinking about? Taking a shot on the dog. I'm not betting CJ, but I think he is more well-rounded. You mentioned the better MMA fighter. I'm gonna go with the BMF as well, better MMA fighter theory, and just say that CJ. I could see him getting a ground and pound finish. I could see him I
especially like the better MMA fighter when the guy only has to think about one specific thing, which is the striking. He doesn't have to worry about Vinicius striking or his
right, exactly. He's not your typical he's
no.
A lot of these Brazilian fighters are they're well rounded. They can strike, powerful strikers, and dangerous submission grapplers. That's not really Salvador.
I think the Clayton Rodriguez win will age really well. I think Clayton still is going to be a decent guy. The Lacerda fight, Lacerda had his best performance of his lifetime, and CJ kind of, withstood it. And that is what concerns me is he's a slow starter. And if Vinicius gets off to a quick start, you get your quick dog. Good for you, but I don't see that happening. So I like Vergara here. Last I checked, he was minus 150 right now. So money is coming out of Vinicius. So I'll just wait. I'm not in a rush to bet this, but if I can get him at under minus 150, I'll take that here. And, Vinicius is only 27 years old, so there is the age for Vinicius there. But I like Vergara here. So 3 favorites to start out the card. And, I'm not going to really hide it here. I know that I've seen my boy Jewish Better. He's big time on Mr. Matthews this weekend, calling Darius all sorts of, flattering compliments, I'm sure. I really like Darius Flowers. I like his approach to the game. I like that he is, besides his choice in PEDs, which whatever, everybody cheats and he just got caught. That's my theory. It is what it is, but he's always training. He's always training with really good guys. This weekend in his corner is going to be the Luis Taylor, who's the original Abus Magomedov fraud detector. Won $1 million on it in 38 seconds. And Bilal Muhammad. That's who he's preparing with. That's who he's been training with as of late. He's from Chicago, but he's been out in Iowa working. He's been over in California. I like Darius Flowers, man. I really like him on short notice, too. I think that's when he's at his best, frankly, because I think he kind of is going to take the same approach against everybody. And it's just going to be kind of down to, is Matthews going to be able to withstand the pressure and kind of keep his wits? And I think that at a lot of times has been Matthews' problem. His other problem has been consistency. He'll have his best performance and his worst performance. He's not training at puzzle mats at Syndicate MMA. He's not training at puzzle mats when he's out. Like, he's trained wherever he can train, and I don't really care about the puzzle mats. So, you know what? I got Darius Flowers at plus 250. It's at plus 200 now, so we can both be happy with our bets, JB, because now you can get a good price on Matthews, and whoever wins gets to talk about what a steal this was. But Matthews is extremely chinny. Darius Flowers can definitely knock out welterweights. I strongly advise Darius Flowers never to go to 155. I think that's going to be horrible for him. And I just think that he is a welterweight. He can knock out middleweights that are – he's fought 3 times in 45 days. The short notice is, I don't think, a problem at all. I think it's more a problem for Matthews here. I don't trust Matthews, and I fade Matthews plenty. I picked Fiallo against him, and then all of a sudden Matthews made me look like an idiot. So Jack bringing that up in the chat here. But I got Flowers. I got him at plus 250. I'm sitting back and enjoying it, and he's going to knock him out. So give me Darius, the younger fighter.
Well, I'll tell you what, brother. You won't alone in picking Fiallo over Matthews. I did the same shit.
Oh, my God. I was so excited for Fiallo to knock his head off. So let me just make that clear.
Dude, don't feel too bad about that. Man, I'll tell you what. I'm going to pick Jake Matthews, but you could not give me a free bet to put on Jake Matthews, honestly. Like, let me look at the odds real quick. The square book that I use is giving me minus 250. I ain't betting no minus 250 on no Jake-ass Matthews. Like, he's the better grappler. If he gets Flowers down, he's probably going to choke him. But Matthews is a knucklehead, dude. He I don't trust the fight IQ to put that chalk on him. Like, I'll pick Matthews to get the sub, but dude, if he stands and tries to be a tough guy, Flowers is going to fucking realm him. So yeah, I think that's a kind of feels like a dogger pass. I know some people will disagree with that, but yeah, man, I'm gonna pick Matthews, but I don't know, dude. I've never been a big Matthews believer, so see what happens.
I'm a Darius Flowers believer. He's gone down to plus 200 now. So minus 240 on Jake Matthews.
Well, dude, either you or JB will cash your bet, so that's cool. At least I can feel about that.
Yep, exactly. I got Darius the second it was open. I'm not a big opening line person at all. I kind of hate it, but I knew I was betting Darius there, and no one was going to tell me otherwise. So again, I'm a fan of this guy because he just fucking brings it, man. I just like it. I've cashed it with him as a big dog on LFA. I've cashed with him as a big dog on the Contender Series, and now it's time for the UFC. So let's go, Flowers. Next fight. This guy is on the Vinicius Salvador level of I can't stand this fighter. I'm going to fade him against everybody. Claudio Ribeiro is a fraud. Absolute fraud, man. And everybody who says otherwise is wrong. The Ivan Valenzuela 25-second knockout, the luckiest thing of his life. And then I had to go into that Abdul Razak Al Hassan fight, hearing how Claudio Ribeiro was going to just, he's going to handle him. He was going to no. Fuck no, man. And then he got against Joseph Holmes, one of the only guys I could pick him. I did pick him in that fight. And, he did what he needed to do in that fight. Won with the knockout. Roman Kopylov, I think, is kind of a weird fighter. He's looked better in his last couple fights, but I don't really, trust him. I had a Valenzuela bet as well. We're just gonna go through all my horrible bets tonight as I'm advising you. So I also had Valenzuela on the Contender Series. So I had Shannon Ross and Ivan Valenzuela. That's what the Contender Series does to people. And yeah, may the gods be with you as well, JB. I'm excited for that fight, and yeah, I'm looking forward to Matthews getting revealed as a fraud again. Roman Kopylov, 32-year-old prospect, I guess. He's a very good kickboxer, and I am kind of concerned with him staying a little bit too much in the pocket, backing himself up at times to where Ribeiro could land that left hook, which I think could put away a lot of fighters, honestly. Like his power, I'll give Ribeiro credit for. It's just the rest of his game I think is terrible, including level of competition, overall skill, and everything like that. But honestly, I just think that Kopylov is going to be able to kind of mix in the wrestling at times. Just keep Ribeiro kind of on his back foot, where I don't think Ribeiro is as effective. Wear him out, probably wins a decision, even though the finishes have been coming lately. Against Soriano, that was just like Soriano. I don't really know what happened. He kind of just gave out in that second round. And then DiChirico is DiChirico. Roman Kopylov by decision for me. Square play, but I do think that he is much better than Claudio Ribeiro, which doesn't say much.
I feel like I'm experiencing a little bit of deja vu from the last fight we just talked about, because I'm on Kopylov for the pick, but it's kind of like Matthews. Maybe not quite as bad, but I still kind of look at Kopylov sideways a little bit. I don't think that Ribeiro is going to win this fight. I just don't. I think he is too he to me is truly one dimensional. And I think Kopylov is just going to be another BMF. He's the better mixed martial artist or whatever, the better fighter in general.
Right. He's the better mixed martial artist. That's right.
Yeah. I feel like he is a better fighter. But at the odds, minus 200, whatever he is, I'm just not really interested in it. It's because if I do that, we're going to hear after Ribeiro sleeps him. So I'm not clamoring. I'm not jumping over people to get to the window on Kopylov, but I will pick him. It's one of those, I think Kopylov is a little fraudulent, but I think that Ribeiro is maybe not barely UFC level, or maybe not even. So
yeah, Ribeiro bottom of the barrel between Al Hassan and Joseph Holmes.
Exactly.
And then a little above that barrel is Roman Kopylov. Just hanging out. So
exactly,
just the elite of the bottom barrel. Yeah, it is what it is. He's not making the Zhang Li parlay. I'll say that much right now. But yeah, minus 210 plus 170 on Fraudio Ribeiro. So if you want to bet Fraudio, go ahead, but I won't support you. And this fight right here, the fight of the line movement of the weekend, I should say. Derek Lewis versus Marcus the GOAT Rogerio de Lima. And he's the GOAT for gassing out against the 9-0 Walter Cortez Alacosta, who only boxes. I'm very, very confused at why everybody is just falling in love with Rogerio de Lima here at heavyweight. He's beat not great levels of competition. And Derek Lewis has been in there with, let me go through the last 5 for these two, which we all know, but apparently let's just do a little quick 5. So let's do 6 actually. The Alexander Romanov forearm choke, where he quit at the end of round 1. First of all, I think Derek Lewis could do that forearm choke. I think that's one of the only submissions Derek Lewis can realistically get. So I'll just say that right now. Maybe take a shot on the Lewis sub prop, a little prop to consider, perhaps. But after that forearm choke, he gets on track here. First of all, he had Ben Sosley before that, so great competition. The crochet boss, Maurice Green, he went to a decision with. Okay, I mean that's tough. Ben Rothwell knocked him out in a whole 32 seconds. Ben Rothwell now with bare knuckle boxing or whatever. Then he lost a unanimous decision to Blagoy Ivanov because he can defensively grapple and he has semblance of strikes. Then we had the quick, good old submission of Andrei Kwiatkowski, who has decided lately, he's like, if you rear naked choke me at all, I'm out of there. And then he was facing a fighter in Walter Cortez Acosta who didn't know how to check a leg kick till round 3. And then as soon as he did, De Lima was gassing himself out by the end of round 2 against a pure boxer with very little takedown defense, frankly. And overall, like, just a guy who I don't think, has the tools or experience of a Derek Lewis. I get it. Derek Lewis has been getting dispatched by 3 of the better guys in the division, but still dispatched pretty quickly. Lost to Tai Tuivasa. I was surprised there. Sergey Pavlovich, it is what it is. And Sergey Spivak, who will take you down and actually advance from positions. I don't think De Lima is going to be able to as easily take down Derek Lewis as a lot of people seem to think. I think Derek Lewis, and I know Derek Lewis knows how to check leg kicks. I don't understand this line movement. I think that it as a pick'em was what it should be because both guys are quitters. Either guy could easily be out of there within 30 seconds. It wouldn't shock me at all. I also could see this fight kind of slogging out and going the full 15 minutes. Derek Lewis retirement fight. I don't know if that's the case or not. I haven't heard that. Derek Lewis, they're both 38 years old. I think De Lima has faced much worse competition. I think this is a step up that if Lewis is at all still ready to fight, I think he wins this fight. And I got Derek Lewis. I got him by KO, but would not surprise me, frankly, if this went to a decision. So, I really would not. Both guys kind of quit. Both guys might kind of agree to coast. But, I think that Derek Lewis is the better quitter by far.
I love how you just put that. That is fucking beautiful, my friend. And, dude, if you listen to the community this week, you would swear that Patrick Starfish is some, 30-year-old prospect. Oh, this is going to be the next dude. It's he's 4 months younger than Derek Lewis. The level of competition isn't close. Literally the only thing that is keeping me from not betting Lewis is this rumblings of retirement talk. But man, even if he is, I kind of feel this way about Lewis that I feel about Lawler, even if it is his retirement fight.
This is so similar to Nico Price and Lawler.
It's the last chance I'm going to have to pick Lewis. I still don't know if I'm going to bet.
They probably got a video of all his Instagram reels queued up for after he knocks out De Lima in 12 seconds. Beautiful,
dude. I this is the last chance. I've been pretty good at picking Lewis fights recently, just because I think Tuivasa was the only hiccup for me, but Gane was such an easy pick against him, and Spivak too. Just because
how would Gane do against Marcus Rogerio de Lima?
Exactly, dude. He would.
How would Pavlovich do against Marcus Rogerio de Lima?
Bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, Blagoy was doming that motherfucker. If Lewis hits him like Blagoy was, it is good night, nurse.
Who has the most KOs in this division in the UFC? This is disrespectful. The line movement.
It is. If Lewis is retiring, that's the only thing that I can see would move this line like that. If we're just talking X's and O's and it's not even close, man. This is a step down for Lewis. Even if he is retiring, this is the last chance I'm going to have to pick him. War Black Beast. I think we're going to see De Lima's going to wake up, look over to his left or right, and see Lewis fucking pelvic thrusting into the canvas, nodding his head and snarling. Let's fucking go.
I love it. Plus 185. I was betting this at even. I bet this at plus 150, and I bet it at plus 185. Putting my money where my mouth is. Maybe I'll look bad tomorrow or whenever on Sunday, but it is what it is. The over's at the over 1.5 at plus 160. If you're telling me this is ending early, I don't know, but we'll see. I'm excited to see which side of those two fights. So those are the two fights I'm most interested in on the prelims. But honestly, overall, the prelims are great. I really like this featured prelim as well. Trevin Giles, I think Trevin Giles is a lot better than a lot of people give him credit for. I'll be honest.
He is.
I don't know why he kind of gets so piled on here. But the thing is, and now everybody's going to say this because of what happened to Ishmael, but Gabriel Bonfim has always been the better Bonfim brother, and you didn't need the Benoit Saint Denis fight to tell you that. Gabriel Bonfim, I think, is a really special fighter. He's got all the offensive tools in the world, but defensively, he really concerns me a lot. And Trevin Giles has a really laser-sharp, precise jab. It's what's talked about in all his fights, and it's talked about for a reason. And the part of his game he's had to work on more is the grappling, in my opinion, and just overall defensive grappling. And that, to me, I think he's gotten better at, but I still think there's a huge kind of difference in the level there. I do think on the feet he can potentially frustrate Gabriel Bonfim at times, but I think Bonfim ends up pressuring, and the pressure getting to Giles, I could see a knockdown leading to a grappling exchange. Once this gets into grappling, I do think Gabriel's a killer. Gabriel will go for the submission. So I like Gabriel by kind of like a club and sub, but Gabriel's a real deal, but he sometimes lacks a little bit of defense, and that does bother me. I think Giles is being way counted out of this fight. Has a win over Roman Dolidze on there. Don't forget about that, Jack. But yeah, Gabriel, he's a real deal. I am a little nervous after seeing how Ishmael did, but Ishmael's done that before. Gabriel has not shown me a reason not to trust him. I think Gabriel gets it done by submission, but it's not. I'm a little bit worried about it. So I do have it in a few parlays, but a little bit worried.
I don't blame you, dude. I agree with pretty much everything you just said. I think Giles is underrated. I'm still. It's not like I'm have questions necessarily. I just kind of want to see a little bit more from Gabriel before I anoint him, because I'm ready to. I'm he looks like the genuine article, but Giles is a good test because he does. You said it, dude. He has a win over Dolidze. He was looking pretty good against Dricus too before he got clipped. But I'm gonna pick Bonfim for that reason, and this one, it just kind of seems like a pattern with Giles. It's he's looking good, and then it's over. So yeah, I think
we've seen a few LFA Brazilian prospects struggle lately. Santos, other right. Bonfim brother. Gabriel is the best of them. I do think Gabriel gets this done. But after this fight, he's going to be facing some of the better guys in the division. So this is a pretty tough second fight off of a 49-second mounted guillotine, which honestly, if that didn't work, would have been a horrible move there. We all know.
Right. Dude, I agree with you. I hate when dudes pull gillies. So I think what I'm going to do with Bonfim is okay, I like what I see so far. I'm just going to wait a couple more fights and see what I got. Okay, if he beats Giles, I'm expecting him to maybe get stunned and then have a comeback club and sub win over Giles. Then see what he looks like against a step up. And then if he smokes that step up, then maybe be okay, I'm on the Bonfim train now. But I'm just going to kind of kick back, not going to play. I'm going to pick Bonfim. But yeah, I'm not completely counting out Trevin Giles, but I'm going to pick Bonfim because I just think he has a little bit more heart, a little more, just a little more grit. If things when things go south for Giles, he usually looks for a way out. So I'm going to say he does that against Bonfim too.
Yeah, fair enough. I like Gabriel enough to make him in the Zhongli. So that will be one of the parlays. So you will have to bet him there. But that's just because this is a tough card for me to get the 5 together for, I'll be honest. So
I don't blame you, man. Fuck yeah.
This is a really competitive card. Chiesa versus Holland. You just mentioned heart a minute ago. You know who has a lot of heart? Kevin Holland. Until the fight turns into a wrestling match, and then his heart goes out the window, and it's all downhill. If Michael Chiesa comes back looking all beefy and steroided up when he rips off the suit to weigh in, and looks like he's just been kind of hanging out with some supplements, he's going to be able to take down Kevin Holland on repeat, and it's going to be a wrestling clinic. I really think he just will body clinch him, take him down, lay on him, and eventually wait for him to give up a position and choke him out, or just kind of ride him for 3 rounds and Kevin go, oh man, give me a fight next week with, Roman Dolidze or whatever he's gonna say. I can't get behind Kevin Holland, man. He's another guy who I have a hard time picking, but I have picked him, and even against Ponzinibbio, like he does a lot of weird shit, and that's against an aging grappler or aging striker who's not going to grapple. I think Chiesa can keep a pace and out wrestle Kevin Holland. So I gotta go with Michael Chiesa. He's too predominant of a grappler, and that's too much going to be his game plan. If he struggles to get it there, Kevin sure can knock him out, but I don't think he's going to struggle to take down Kevin Holland. I just don't think Kevin Holland has worked on his wrestling. I don't think he ever will. Michael Chiesa, thought about betting him, but I'm too late.
I can't push back too much on what you just said because it's all like sound and valid. Like Holland,
he hasn't fought in 2 years, Chiesa, so it's not great.
But like the reasons for not being on the Holland side are completely understandable. He gets out grappled.
Yes.
Yes. At 170 can look pretty beastly. I'm kind of biased on this one. I'm a little bit higher on Holland than some people are. I get why people aren't rushing to like get on the Holland side, but like I'm gonna pick Holland. I think he knocks Chiesa out, and it's not that like Chiesa is clearly the better grappler. If he does get on top of Holland, Kev's probably gonna be there. He's probably gonna be in trouble. But like, if you look at Chiesa's record, like Holland is the longest, most powerful, like rangiest striker that he's ever fought. Like Kevin Holland could not make 155 if he fucking wanted to. Like he's just a way bigger dude. I think that like Chiesa, I don't necessarily see Chiesa just being able to like he could just take him down and sub him, but like Holland is getting grapple fucked by like big fucking dudes like Khamzat and fucking Derek Brunson's a big dude, big strong wrestler. I don't think Chiesa's quite that fucking physical. He might be, but I think Holland starches him. Like Chiesa's gonna need to bum rush in, and Kev's just gonna pull back and fucking just pull counter him. I'm gonna say Kev starches him, but like I get why people are picking Chiesa or like maybe betting Chiesa because grappling wise he's better. But I'm gonna say Holland starches him.
Yep, and Moy's calling for the Holland sub on the Gilly on the single leg attempt. So yeah, I think this is one that maybe you should just wait to live bet till you see the first shot by Chiesa, because I think we'll know after the first shot how this fight will go.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, probably what I'll end up doing for the most part with that fight. Next fight, Circus is back. We got Tony Ferguson, Bobby Green. Bobby Green coming off of a domination win where he was getting dominated before he got that headbutt to end the fight. So I don't really know. Bobby Green, he's got, the good Philly shell defense, head movement, good boxer, likes to kind of just stand and trade, bang with his opponents. Going against Tony Ferguson, who's on a 25-fight lose streak or something. I don't really even know. I think he had a DUI dismissed recently, so that's good, but probably had a domestic assault at some point down the line as well. Like, I don't really know. Tony Ferguson's life is a mess. This is a fight I'm not getting involved with Bobby Green over minus 300. And I think that, sure, Tony Ferguson is in his prime now. I don't really know what that means. So, God, I don't know. Give me Bobby Green by knockout just because I hope it. No, Bobby Green by decision. What am I talking about? This is going to a decision. It might be a split decision. Who knows? Bobby Green, no bet, no interest really in this fight. I don't know why it exists.
Yeah, this is what is this? Like, who decided to make this fight?
I don't know. I think Dana probably.
This definitely smells like a Dana White booking. I would think this is one where he's like,
they're trying to build up the prospect, Bobby Green.
They're all in the meeting room. Dana says it all, like huge smile on his face. Shelby and Maynard kind of give each other a quick side eye, like, are you fucking serious? Like real quick, so Dana doesn't see it, and they're like, yeah, Dana's out, yeah, let's do it, bro. Like, sounds great. And you're like, Jesus fucking Christ. I that's just what it feels like to me, dude. Bobby, think about it like this: if this was 5 years ago, this fight, I don't even know if it would be booked, and the line would be completely fucking flipped if it was. So, I'm not like rushing to the window to lay minus 300 or whatever it is on Bobby Green. But yeah, Tony Ferguson is heading down a fucking Jason Mayhem Miller road to me, and like
they cut Jason Mayhem Miller way sooner,
dude. Like Tony, you said it, man. His life is kind of in an state of upheaval, and I'm just going to
never been great either. And his run, when you go back with hindsight, is kind of one of the most overrated, shitty
dude. I have
runs ever,
brother. I have been singing that tune for years, and
I've heard it from people. I've always denied it, but you really can't when you go back. Like Lando Venata almost killed him.
It's just like it's all these like glorious come from behind victories
against like terrible guys,
varying degrees of competition. To put it nicely, I think Ferguson is kind of on his last leg here. This seems like he needs a paycheck kind of a fight, and Bobby Green should be able to knock him out, but he'll probably just like hurt him.
I mean, Noah makes a good point here. Tony's best performances are his losses, it seems. 2-1 on Gaichi.
Seriously.
Allegedly. And 1-0 on Chad. Excuse me. But yeah, either way, Bobby Green is minus 390.
That's disgusting. Now, see, that's not anything I'm interested in, but
plus 320 on Tony.
I mean, that's wild. That's like, hey, it's right here. The plus 320 is right here.
Bobby lost to Gatheje.
All you have to do is reach out and take it. It's right there. The plus 320, Tony Ferguson. Hey, Tony time, one last ride. It's so tempting, but like,
if it gets up to plus 350, I will.
Pass.
I'm
Bobby
fine.
Pass.
It is not a COVID-19 cough. I'm fine. Anyways.
It's a weed is tight cough.
Yeah. Sometimes I get a little stuffy after the concentrates. I thought I skipped over Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Michelle Pereira. I'm glad I didn't. But am I? This isn't I'm sorry. These are two of the fights on the card. I'm kind of a little more like, what the fuck is this? What are we doing? What is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson at 40 years old at this point? Is he another guy where if grappling shows up, he's just going to die? It might be. And Michelle Pereira, apparently mythically training with soldiers now and sleeping in lakes and I don't know, like cold lakes and shit. Like he's like sleeping in cold lakes and shit. He's like not even breathing hard. Watch out. Michelle Pereira is coming. Here's the thing. He's allegedly 11 years younger than Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And I think that plays a big factor in a fight like this, to be honest. The level of grapplers who have been able to kind of dominate Stephen Wonderboy Thompson are Bilal Muhammad and, Burns type of levels. And I don't think Pereira is on that level. But, either way, I just think that Michelle Pereira, I can't really trust him. Maybe it's the Tristan Conley fight forever that will just always hold me back. But I can't trust him to put together the competent game plan to defeat Wonderboy Thompson. So I think he's going to kind of make the mistake of Kevin Holland and many other fighters where he's like, these shots aren't really hurting me. I can go through them to eventually get my offense on. And then eventually he's losing multiple rounds. So I'm not going with the Brazilian here, but I'm not really crazy on Stephen Wonderboy Thompson either. I think this is probably a split decision. I'm going to go with Michelle Pereira by split. I just think he's going to have the more impactful shots and moments, one, and if someone's bleeding at the end of this, it's probably going to be Wonder Boy a little bit. But I think this is going to be a kind of a close fight. A little bit of grappling from Michelle Pereira, but not enough. And then it makes it a really close split. I'll go with Michelle Pereira. I'm not betting it, though.
Nobody in the chat listen to me when it comes to this fight, because I'm probably one of the biggest Michelle Domalidor Pereira stands that lives and breathes upon this earth. If you're talking about on paper, it's a levels fight and Thompson should dog walk him. X's and O's, like, yes, Thompson is the better technical striker. I'm not going to go and tell you about his fucking Kempo background and his American kickboxing background and all that shit. Every fucking thing you hear about Thompson, yes, he's technically the better striker. Fucking duh. But if you look back, what kind of like fighters hurt him, or like the style of fighter that can get to him or catch him? It's a guy like Pereira, an explosive, athletic fighter, like where Thompson's looking good on the feet, getting the better of it, and then boom. Like, I do think that Pereira is a little bit overhated. Like, I get the Tristan Connolly fight is a hilarious loss. But like, if you go back and look at that fight, like, he has his moments against Connolly too, where he like hurts him to the body a couple times. And like, Pereira is a very dangerous fighter. This just seems like he's the kind of fighter that can catch Wonder Boy. Fucking Pettis isn't a better striker than Wonder Boy, I don't think. Caught him. Woodley isn't.
Oh my God, but he was losing the rest of that fucking fight.
Exactly. Woodley isn't a better technical striker than Wonder Boy. Fucking caught him. Same thing with Darren Till. Caught him. It's like, dude, he gets caught by these dudes that he's a better technical striker than. And I think it's the same thing.
Don't you think that Michelle can go the wrestling route if he's smart?
I think so too, man. He's got a black belt. Maybe
there's just more ways for him to win.
I agree. Like, if Thompson, again, if this was 5 years ago, this fight wouldn't even be fucking made. So, like, yeah, I'm going to take a shot on the dog. I'm also a Pereira stan. Thompson can absolutely win a decision here. I'm not going to be shocked or anything. But, yeah, I'm a ride with my dude. Take a shot on the dog. Let's go to Molidor.
Yeah, I mean, I do think this is one that, a lot of people are on the Michelle Pereira side. I'll agree. I think it's going to be a close decision, though. So
dude, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say, like, that does scare me a little bit that he is a very public dog. But, like, yeah, I'm still going to go with him.
Yep, I agree. So a couple dogs I like on the main card so far. Honestly, 2, almost 3 with Tony, but I can't get behind Tony. Next fight, it's a good fight. Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Pereira, basically to decide who is going to be the next lightweight contender. I do like that Pereira's moving up at this point. I don't think that, he really is benefiting from 185 at this point. He's just too big. So I think he's going to have no problem being at 205. I think that the power will translate. I'm just not really sure about, if Jan is going to be able to put together the game plan that I want Jan to put together, which is basically, a lot similar to the Izzy game plan. I think that if he does mix in the striking with the wrestling, I don't see why he can't kind of get through 3 rounds here with Pereira. If he decides to be a tough guy, trade in the pocket, Pereira's going to land something that puts away Jan at some point in this fight. Jan's 40 years old now. The Ankalaev fight was a great fight. Jan came on late, however. He was kind of getting it put on him early in that fight. I think Ankalaev did win that fight. So I think that Jan's getting a little bit too much credit for that. If this was 5 rounds, I'd feel a lot better in picking Pereira just because I think he is going to be very aware of the grappling, at least early, and it might make him a little more hesitant. But I think Pereira ends up finding the knockout at some point here on Jan in the 3 rounds. I think Jan's going to be a lot slower. And I do think that Pereira has worked on the grappling to an extent to where he can be defensive enough to keep the fight where he wants it. So I'm on Alex Pereira. Not a bet I'm making, but I like Alex Pereira, and I like him by KO.
Dude, I am struggling so badly with picking this fight. Dude, whoever I pick, anyone listening to this, definitely smash the like button, first of all. But if you're listening to this, whatever I say, pick and bet the opposite probably, because I am so bad at picking Pereira fights anymore. And like,
Seriously.
dude, it's been kind of the same way with Jan for me. It's a mixed bag with Jan. Like, I don't know. I know what I'm going to get from Alex Pereira. I know exactly what Poatan is going to try and do. He's going to try and keep the fight standing and send Jan to the shadow realm. Man, I've been waffling so bad on this one because initially gut read is Jan. He's the more well-rounded fighter. He's the more experienced UFC fighter. He's the better MMA fighter. He's more well-rounded. He's more dangerous if it hits the mat. Man, I agree that he gets too much credit for some of these wins. He got his belt off beating Dominic fucking Reyes, dude. I'm sorry. The John Jones fight notwithstanding, that's not an incredible win to me. I don't know, man. Like, to me, this is such a volatile fight. I have no interest in getting on either side. I'm staying far away from this. It's entertaining, like the idea of it and the matchup and all that. I'm hoping the fight is entertaining. I think it probably will be. It just smells like a finish is coming from either side. Like, if Pereira can't knock him out and Jan does get the takedowns, I don't think it's going to take 5 fucking rounds for Jan to lock up an arm triangle or to get on top and, like, make Pereira give up his back for the rear naked choke. So it seems so binary, like, Jan by submission or Pereira by knockout. I don't fucking know. I might just end up flipping a coin. For the sake of the show and to make Pereira bettors happy, I'm going to pick Jan. And Pereira's probably going to turn his fucking lights out. Because, like, I think Jan, some of his wins are not aging well whatsoever. And, like,
and he ain't getting younger.
But I'll tell you what, dude, I am not betting the Pereira side because if it does hit the mat, I think he's going to be outclassed. I don't give a shit how much he's been training with Glover. And he also got knocked out 3 months ago. So I'm not completely counting out Jan clipping him. But Jan is 40, dude. I think Pereira is going to be much faster. I think the move up to 205 is much better for him. But it's just, there's too many X factors. There's too many, like, unknowns for me. A lot of people seem so certain one side or the other. I think the line, the pick'em is completely, like, justified to me, and I'm just gonna sit back and see what happens. Best of luck, though, everyone. It's a pretty good fight, but I have no fucking clue.
Jan, I think Jan by decision or sub. But honestly, the KO could be. I don't hate that KO shot, honestly, because he was KO'd 3 months ago. It was bad.
It was bad. He was out, but like I'm just getting a bad feeling that, like, and that's why I'm not betting Jan. Like, I'm picking him, but like I just think Pereira, dude, if they stand and Jan wants to try and be a big fucking tough guy, I think he's gonna get it. So
Pereira should look pretty quick at 205, and he's fought at, I think, 210 in kickboxing or maybe heavier. All right, vacant BMF belts on the line. I thought that was a joke. Like, they're seriously doing that, so great. Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje are fighting again. Dustin Poirier, made a pretty good account of his dog in him in the last fight, and I'd say Justin Gaethje did as well. Justin Gaethje going 5 rounds as Fiziev, winning. I think he should have been a unanimous decision, but it was a competitive fight for sure. But Fiziev, one of the best strikers, and he kept it there pretty much the whole time. I think this is going to be a really good fight. I think that kind of the same things are still true from the first time they fought. I think both guys have improved from the first time they fought. Both guys can't beat the top level. And I think Dustin Poirier, is just more technical, more precise. I think both guys are really tough. Both guys will hurt each other at points in this fight. I would, if I had more faith that Poirier was willing to go to the wrestling and exploit the submission and grappling of Gaethje, I'd feel better because I do think Dustin Poirier has a significant advantage when it comes to submission grappling, but he's not going to go there. He's got good counter shots. I think he's just a little quicker and more slick than Gaethje, but Gaethje has that finishing ability, and Poirier was nearly out against Chandler. Chandler gassed out bad after that second round and kind of just gave up in that fight, but he was having his way with Poirier at times in that first round and then throughout that second round. Justin Gaethje throws a lot of good leg kicks. Dustin Poirier checks leg kicks really well. It's a really close fight. I don't see a finish in this one. I could see it being a split type of fight. I think it's going to be close. I got Dustin Poirier, though, in this one, but not super invested.
Well, anyone that's familiar at all with me or my channel knows what time it is with me, but I'm also not going to get on here and argue in bad faith. I'm a Gaethje stan, but I'll be perfectly honest with you, man. Like, there's not a whole lot I can break down as far as X's and O's. Like, oh, Justin has made this adjustment, and when Dustin throws this leg kick, he's going to counter with such and such. Like, it's a close fight, like you said, and I think this is one of those situations where if they fight each other 10 times, I don't really feel comfortable saying that one dude would win more than 6 times. I just think they're very evenly matched. I think they have both improved, like you said. Gaethje's my dude, man. He's my favorite active fighter, has been for years. I absolutely recognize that Poirier could win this fight again, but you would just be crazy, or you just don't know me at all if you would think that I would dare get on the Dustin Poirier side. This one is about standing on your square for me as a Gaethje stan. I can't not pick my dude when he's the dog. I think it is pretty much a 50-50. Yeah, on paper, it's Poirier for sure. He's the more technical striker. He's definitely the better submission grappler. He's the more well-rounded fighter. They fought a similar level of competition, but he has the win over Gaethje. He has the win over Alvarez. Gaethje has the loss to Alvarez. So, yeah, on paper, it's clearly Dustin Poirier. I just think Justin's going to catch him this time. I just think Justin, while they both made improvements, I think the improvements that Justin's made are going to be able to exploit some of the, not chinks in the armor, but like Dustin did get hurt against Conor. He did get hurt against Chandler. He got hurt against Dan Hooker. And I just think the Gaethje of 2023, I think can exploit some of those holes. But I can't get on here and tell you oh, dude, Justin is a fucking lock, bro. No, even as a stan, I can't be more than 65% confident. But you bet your fucking sweet asses, I bet Justin Gaethje. He's I don't bet a ton, but he's the heaviest bet I have this week. I am absolutely. It is Gaethje season. I will die on Gaethje Hill if need be. This is Justin versus Dustin Part 2. Gaethje's revenge. Let's fucking go.
I'm
gonna say Gaethje by knockout too. I'm gonna say uppercut, left hooks, Poirier.
Yeah, you better hope it does. Otherwise, it's gonna be Dustin by decision. One more thing before we go, Zhang parlay time. This week's parlay approaching plus 2,000. It's at plus 1987. And I'll tell you right off the bat, yes, Derek Lewis is involved because I'm just not going to leave.
Woo!
Derek Lewis has to be in there. CJ Vergara is the first leg of the Zhang Li. I just think that at minus 150, it's a nice parlay piece, and I just think he's much better at MMA than Vinicius Salvador. I also feel the same way, so the MMA theory is going to hold up for Roman Kopylov. Sorry, Fraudio Ribeiro, but Roman Kopylov is going to get it done. I hope to see some wrestling out of Roman Kopylov. Maybe he just knocks him out because Fraudio is that bad. I am going to keep Gabriel Bonfim in there. I tried to kind of find another route, but I really wanted to hit this week, I'll be honest. And then, Derek Lewis and then Bonfim. So Derek Lewis plus 185, Bonfim at minus 340, unfortunately. And then I'm finishing it off. I was going between two of my main card dogs. I decided to leave out Mike Chiesa and go with Michel Pereira. So you get another Michel Pereira, and he is the anchor of the Zhongli parlay this week, plus 1987 right now. Go ahead. I put in 20 for 418. So do whatever you want with that. But either way, 2 cents. What do you got coming up the rest of the week? Any final thoughts before we bid adieu?
Well, as always, dude, thank you very much for having me. This is a treat for me. This is one of the highlights of my week. Man, make sure y'all smash the like button and keep showing Aaron support. He gives y'all great content all week, every week for free. So there's that. I don't have a ton on this card, like as far as like amount of plays. I have a bet on Gaichi, I have a bet on Pereira, and I have a greasy like 4-leg hedge out for old Dusty, and it's got Derek Lewis, Medic, and Holland in it as well. So that's just a little fun, we'll see what happens. But then, dude, I love the Zhongli this week, and I love that Pereira is anchoring it, so I will be tailing that as well. Best of luck, everyone. Dude, thanks again for having me. Really pumped for these fights. And, catch you next week, brother.
Yep. Good luck, everybody. Let me just see real quick. Is there any other breakdowns on the week? I'll just put this as part of the video. Fuck it. What is there? Is there Cage Warriors? Yeah, I'm not going to be doing a breakdown like Cage Warriors. I'll be honest. I'll put my picks in the community tab before they start. They're on Saturday, so I'll put them on Friday. But this is just not a very good Cage Warriors. I'm not going to dedicate my time fully to that. So only breakdown of the week. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate the support. See you next week. Peace.